deep within the quiet corners of your being, there's a persistent, gnawing whisper, a silent ache that whispers you're wasting your life. No matter how frantically you fill your days with work, relationships, or fleeting distractions, the void persists, a haunting sense that you're merely drifting through existence, not truly living. You've tried to name this unease, perhaps calling it anxiety, stress, or depression. You've sought refuge in prescriptions, social media scrolls, or endless to-do lists, hoping to drown out the discomfort that creeps into your unguarded moments. But what if this suffering isn't a flaw to be erased? What if it's a sacred signal, a desperate cry from your soul urging you to awaken? Carl Gustav Jung, the visionary architect of depth psychology, saw this turmoil not as a disorder, but as a profound invitation. Your psyche isn't broken, it's pleading for alignment, demanding a life that resonates with your deepest truth. This journey is not for those seeking quick fixes or shallow comforts. It's for the courageous, those ready to dive into the abyss of their unconscious to reclaim meaning. Let's embark on this odyssey, unraveling Jung's transformative insights, confronting the roots of modern suffering, and forging a path to stop wasting your life by embracing the raw, untamed power of your soul. The silent scream of the soul, a call to awaken. Picture yourself in a sterile, fluorescent-lit doctor's office, your voice trembling as you describe the weight in your chest, the sleepless nights, the unshakable feeling of being a stranger in your own life. The doctor listens briefly, scribbles a diagnosis, likely anxiety or depression, and hands you a prescription. Take this twice daily. In moments, your existential cry is reduced to a chemical imbalance, your soul's urgent message bottled into a pill. This approach, Jung would argue, is a profound betrayal of your essence. It prioritizes your ability to function, keeping you productive, compliant, and predictable over the sacred task of understanding your pain. Society needs you to keep the gears turning, to work, consume, and smile for the camera. But your soul demands more. It speaks not in words, but in symptoms, the tightness in your throat, the fatigue no rest can cure, the pervasive sense that something vital is missing. Jung's radical insight was that these symptoms, insomnia, panic attacks, hopelessness, are not pathologies, but the soul's desperate attempt to communicate. Imagine your psyche as a caged bird, its vibrant wings clipped by the expectations of a world that values conformity over authenticity. It doesn't sing, it screams, using anxiety as a warning, depression as a protest, and emptiness as a plea for liberation. You're not broken, you're misaligned, living a life that betrays your true self. Perhaps you're trapped in a soul-crushing job that pays the bills but starves your spirit. Maybe you maintain relationships that drain your energy to avoid loneliness. Or you chase goals, status, wealth, approval that belong to someone else's script, not yours. Jung called this neurosis, a substitute for legitimate suffering, meaning your pain is the price of running from the life you're meant to live. The more you suppress it with medication, distractions, or routines, the louder your soul screams, demanding to be heard. To heed this call, you must make a brutal choice. Stop numbing the pain and start listening to it. Imagine sitting alone in a quiet room, letting the unease wash over you like a storm. Ask, what is my psyche trying to tell me? What truth am I avoiding? This act of listening is a rebellion against a culture that fears discomfort, a courageous step toward reclaiming your life. Picture a weary traveler lost in a dense forest, ignoring the compass in their pocket. Your suffering is the forest. Your unconscious is the compass. By diving into the pain, you begin to uncover its message. A job that stifles you must be left. A relationship that dims your light must end. A dream you've buried must be resurrected. This is not weakness, it's the awakening of your soul. A refusal to let your life slip away in quiet despair. The cultural conspiracy, a life stolen. Does this emptiness plague so many? Even in an era of unprecedented material comfort, technological abundance, and supposed freedoms, Jung saw the root of modern suffering not just in the individual, but in the cultural machinery that shapes us from birth. Imagine a vast theater where everyone is handed a script at childhood. Study hard, secure a safe career, climb the ladder, consume relentlessly, and hide any trace of vulnerability. You're taught to please, to compete, to win approval, but never to ask the questions that matter. Asterisk what sets my soul alight? What makes my existence meaningful? Asterisk this absence of meaning is no accident, it's a deliberate design. A cultural conspiracy that prioritizes efficiency over essence, conformity over creativity, and appearance over authenticity. Picture a young man raised to excel in a high-pressure academic system, now trapped in a corporate office. He earns a six-figure salary, owns a sleek apartment, and posts curated photos of his perfect life, yet he feels hollow, as if he's playing a role in someone else's story. His anxiety isn't a chemical defect, it's his soul rebelling against a path that doesn't reflect his true desires. Jung observed that when we drive our identity from external markers, titles, wealth, social media likes, we become fragile, tethered to a system that can strip our worth in an instant. A missed promotion, a failed relationship, or a dip in followers shatters the facade, revealing the void beneath. This disconnection from our inner nature, from the unconscious, breeds a silent epidemic of meaninglessness, where lives are full of commitments but starved of purpose. Society thrives on this disconnection. Disconnected people are docile, predictable, and profitable. They consume to fill the void, follow orders to feel secure, and silence their doubts to fit in. When their souls cry out through burnout, panic attacks, or chronic apathy, the system offers quick fixes, antidepressants, productivity apps, or endless streams of content to distract from the ache. These are bandages on a wound that demands surgery. Jung insisted that true healing requires confronting the culture that wounded you. Ask yourself, what dreams did I abandon to please others? What parts of me were suppressed to fit this mold? What lies am I living to avoid conflict? This reckoning is painful. It means admitting you've been shaped by a world that fears the raw, untamed human soul. But it's also the gateway to liberation, the spark that ignites the journey to a life that's yours. Imagine a woman who always dreamed of writing poetry, but pursued a legal career to satisfy her family's expectations. She's successful by society's standards, but her nights are haunted by a restlessness she can't name. Her panic attacks aren't random, they're her soul's cry to reclaim her creative voice. To begin healing, she must confront the cultural script that told her art wasn't practical, that her worth lies in external achievements. This process starts with small, brave acts: picking up a pen, writing a single line, honoring the impulse she buried. Each step dismantles the lie, bringing her closer to her truth. Jung's message is clear. The problem isn't you, it's the world that taught you to betray yourself. By recognizing this, you reclaim the power to rewrite your story. The journey of individuation, reclaiming your wholeness. At the core of Jung's philosophy lies individuation, the transformative odyssey of becoming who you truly are. This is not a superficial self-help trend or a checklist of habits. It's a mythic journey to psychic wholeness, a quest to gather the fragmented pieces of your being and forge them into a unified self. Imagine your psyche as a shattered mosaic, its vibrant tiles scattered by years of conformity, fear, and external pressures. Individuation is the art of collecting those tiles, your desires, fears, instincts, and shadows, and crafting a masterpiece that reflects your essence. It's about shedding the masks you wear to please others, parent, culture, society, and answering the soul's call to live authentically. Jung described the unconscious as a vast, untamed wilderness, teeming with the forgotten parts of yourself, unresolved traumas, stifled passions, beliefs inherited from family or culture that you've never questioned. To individuate, you must venture into this wilderness, confronting what you've suppressed, particularly the shadow, the dark, instinctive side you've been taught to hide. Picture a man who prides himself on being calm and rational, suppressing his anger to appear virtuous, his shadow, his unexpressed rage. His buried ambition leaks out in passive aggression, sabotaging his relationships and career. Jung warned that what you don't bring to consciousness controls you, manifesting as destructive patterns, repeated failures in love, inexplicable setbacks at work, or a chronic sense of disconnection. Now imagine a woman who always plays the peacemaker, swallowing her opinions to keep others comfortable. Her shadow, her unvoiced assertiveness, her hidden strength haunts her through anxiety and resentment. Individuation requires her to face this shadow, to express her needs without shame, to embrace her power without apology. This confrontation is daunting. It means acknowledging the envy you deny, the anger you suppress, the desires you've judged as wrong. But it's also empowering. By integrating your shadow, you transform it from a saboteur into a source of authenticity and vitality. Picture a warrior who once feared their ferocity, but now channels it into disciplined courage. Their presence commands respect, not because they're flawless, but because they're whole. The process of individuation is neither linear nor gentle. It's a descent into the depths, a wrestling match with your inner chaos. Jung outlined practical ways to engage this journey. Dreams, which he called the royal road to the unconscious, offer symbolic glimpses into your psyche. Imagine dreaming of a locked door you can't open. Journaling about it, you realize it represents your fear of leaving a soul-crushing job, a revelation that sparks change. Creative expression, writing, painting, music unlocks emotions logic can't reach. Picture a man sketching a stormy sea, only to discover it mirrors his suppressed grief. Silence and meditation quiet the noise of the external world, letting you hear your inner voice. Ask, what am I feeling? What do I need? Therapy, especially Jungian analysis, provides a guide to navigate these depths, uncovering patterns that govern your life. Imagine a young artist haunted by self-doubt, raised to believe creativity isn't a real career. In therapy, she explores a childhood memory of being praised for obedience, but criticized for her art. This insight reveals why she sabotages her talent, fearing rejection. As she integrates this wound, she begins painting again, her work radiating authenticity. Individuation is not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming real. Aligning your outer life with your inner truth. It's a lonely, arduous journey, but it's the only path to a life that feels alive. Your choices shift, your relationships deepen, and your suffering transforms from a punishment into a catalyst for growth. You stop seeking approval and start living from your center, where your soul's voice is clear and unshakable. The epidemic of meaninglessness, a world without purpose. Does this emptiness pervade modern life, even amidst abundance? Jung saw modern suffering as an existential crisis, a silent epidemic of meaninglessness rooted in a culture that starves the soul. Picture a bustling city, its streets alive with people rushing to meetings, scrolling through feeds, chasing promotions, yet haunted by a shared exhaustion no vacation can cure. Jung believed this stems from a brutal truth. Life has lost its purpose, not a grandiose, cosmic mission, but a personal alignment between what you do and who you are. Without this, even the greatest pleasures, wealth, fame, love turn hollow, and the most ambitious goals feel like chasing shadows. Imagine a man who achieves every marker of success, a corner office, a luxury car, a picture-perfect family. Yet, at night, he lies awake, gripped by a void he can't name. His depression isn't a chemical glitch, it's his soul's cry for meaning, for a life that reflects his true values. Jung observed that humans need to feel part of something greater, not just a career or social status, but a purpose that gives their existence weight and consequence. Without it, they collapse internally. They're suffering a disorientation born of living someone else's script. Society offers distractions, likes, streaming marathons, productivity hacks, but these are fleeting, like pouring water into a cracked vessel. The real hunger is for identity, for a life that feels authentically yours. This epidemic is structural, woven into a culture that idolizes success but neglects the soul. From childhood, we're conditioned to prioritize external validation over inner truth. We choose careers for security, not passion, maintain relationships for appearances, not connection, inhabit routines that erase us day by day. Picture a woman in a high-powered marketing role, her days filled with meetings and metrics, but her heart yearning to teach yoga and heal others. Her panic attacks are her soul's protest against a life that doesn't reflect her essence. The body feels it through tension, fatigue, or sleeplessness. The mind collapses under unasked questions. Who am I? What do I truly want? Jung's solution was radical. To heal, you must confront the culture that shaped you. Ask, what did I sacrifice to fit in? What lies am I living to please others? This reckoning is painful, but it's the spark that ignites the journey to meaning. Society doesn't want you to ask these questions. Disconnected people are profitable. They consume to fill the void, obey to feel secure, and silence their doubts. To belong, when their souls cry out through burnout, anxiety, or apathy, the system offers palliatives, antidepressants, self-help fads, or endless content to numb the ache. These are not solutions, but shackles, keeping you tethered to a life that isn't yours. Jung's message is a call to rebellion. Reject the distractions, face the pain, and reclaim your soul. Imagine a man who quits his corporate job to travel and write. He faces uncertainty, but his eyes shine with purpose. His life no longer a performance, but a creation. This is the path to meaning, not a life free of pain, but one rich with purpose. Reconnecting with the unconscious, your greatest ally. Key to this journey lies in the unconscious, which Jung saw not as a mere repository of traumas, but as a vibrant, symbolic universe holding your authentic impulses, deepest fears, and untapped potential. Picture the unconscious as a hidden ocean, its waves carrying messages in the form of dreams, intuitions, or sudden emotions that seem to rise from nowhere. Jung warned that what you don't bring to consciousness controls you. The bad luck in your relationships may stem from patterns rooted in unhealed wounds. The career setbacks you blame on others may reflect a fear of success buried in your psyche. The unconscious is a mirror, reflecting not the polished mask you show the world, but the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. To reconnect, you must listen to this mirror, engaging the unconscious through deliberate practices. Dreams are a powerful gateway. Jung called them the royal road to the unconscious. Imagine dreaming of a dark forest where you're lost. Journaling about it, you realize it symbolizes your fear of pursuing a passion, like starting a business, because it feels too risky. This insight is a spark guiding you toward action. Creative expression, writing, painting, music unlocks emotions logic can't reach. Picture a woman sculpting a figure of a broken wing, only to discover it reflects her suppressed grief. Over a lost dream, silence and meditation quiet the external noise, letting you hear your inner voice. Sit quietly and ask, what am I feeling? What do I need? The answers may surprise you: a longing to reconnect with nature, a need to end a toxic friendship. Jungian therapy, or analysis, provides a structured path to explore these depths, uncovering patterns that govern your life. Imagine a man in therapy revisiting a childhood memory of being shamed for his curiosity. This wound, he learns, fuels his fear of taking risks, keeping him stuck in a safe but unfulfilling job. As he processes this, he begins taking bold steps, unrolling in a course, pitching an idea, feeling alive for the first time in years. The unconscious is not an enemy, it's a guide, pointing you toward wholeness. By listening, you transform anxiety from a paralyzing force into a message, sadness from a weakness into a sign that something must die for something new to be born. This process is demanding, requiring patience, courage, and a willingness to face truths that hurt. But it's also liberating, turning the unconscious from a shadow that haunts you into an ally that empowers you. Overcoming the fear of change. We do so many, even aware of this truth, remain trapped in autopilot, wasting their lives. The answer is fear of change, of loss, of abandoning the familiar, even when it's destructive. Picture a woman in a toxic relationship, knowing it dims her light, but clinging to it because it's known. Her fear whispers, what if I'm alone? What if I fail? This fear is universal, rooted in the comfort of the familiar, however painful. Jung knew that individuation demands facing this fear head-on, letting go of the masks, routines, and relationships that no longer serve you. It's a terrifying leap, like diving into a dark abyss, trusting you'll find solid ground. To overcome this, start with small, intentional acts. Identify one lie you're living: a job that suffocates you, a friendship that drains you. Write it down, asking, what's the cost of staying? What's the cost of leaving? This act of naming your truth breaks the spell of numbness. Take one step, say no to a draining commitment, express a suppressed desire, or explore a passion you've ignored. Picture a man who loves photography but works in accounting. He starts taking photos on weekends, each click reigniting his spark. These steps build courage, proving the unknown is not a void but a canvas for your true self. Seek support: therapy, a trusted friend, or a journal to navigate the fear. Each action aligns you with your soul, transforming fear from a barrier into a gateway. The sacred choice, awakening your soul. There comes a moment when you must make the choice, the one that separates the life you were conditioned to live from the life your soul demands. This is not a casual decision, but a sacred commitment to yourself, a vow to honor your deepest truth. If you're reading this, it's no accident. Something within you is stirring, a whisper, a scream, a spark that refuses to accept a life of mere survival. Jung called this the greatest privilege, to become who you truly are. But it's also the most avoided path, because it demands you shed everything comfortable, predictable, and superficial. It requires facing your fears, confronting your shadows, and dismantling the lies you've lived. Most will choose numbness over clarity, piling up possessions, distractions, and likes while their soul erodes. But you don't have to be another statistic. You can choose to stop wasting your life, to awaken from anesthesia, to build a life that's yours. It won't be easy. It will hurt, confuse, and demand sacrifices. You may lose relationships, status, or the illusion of control, but it will also liberate, revealing a power that comes from living authentically. Picture a woman who leaves a corporate career to open a small bookstore. She faces uncertainty, but her life radiates purpose. Her every day a testament to her soul's truth. Start now. Ask, what lie am I living? What truth am I avoiding? Write it down, a sentence, a confession, a question. This act is a gesture of presence, a step toward awakening. Then take action. Say no to what drains you, yes to what ignites you. Journal your dreams. Create without judgment. Seek therapy to explore your depths. Each step aligns you with your center, transforming suffering into a catalyst for growth. You'll stop seeking permission, comparing yourself, or pleasing those who don't understand. Your life will become unshakable, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. In a world that numbs the soul, choosing to awaken is a radical act of rebellion, a declaration that you will no longer waste your life, but live it fully and fiercely as the person you were born to be.